9 times out of 10 I prefer a cherry in my cocktail, not in my fragrance, but here's December, here we are.
Hi friends, today we're ranking the alternatives and sort of competitors that I found that for Tom Ford Lost Cherry, and I'm gonna make a buying decision, buy or no buy, and try to justify why I'm doing this or that. Hopefully it will be helpful for some of you. Let me know if you've tried any of those perfumes, how you would rank them, what kind of additional alternatives are worth considering in case somebody is looking for dupes or a certain twists on the same story. And we're talking about winter cherry. A not so humble brag, I actually designed my own cocktail that I call winter cherry, which contains a sour cherry juice, some of the boozier type of darker liquor, I sometimes use bourbon, sometimes whiskey, sometimes a dash of scotch. And as you can imagine, these kind of prohibition era style cocktails land very nicely into the winter times, and so do cherry-based perfumes. When Tom Ford released their Lost Cherry perfume back in the day, it pretty much broke the market. The world has split in two. People who just adored Lost Cherry for what it was, this very rich, kind of almondy sweet, hot and spicy, sweet mochaccino cherry style of perfume, and those who said okay, this is getting ridiculous, we're getting into food flavoring category here, and the price of this is what, $300, something around there. It was a pretty polarizing fragrance, but amazingly enough, it survived the test of time, still is revered as one of a kind. Many brands tried to dupe it. Almost nobody did it quite as successfully, even though, let's say, with Maison Kurkdjian's Baccarat Rouge, there are many clones that I would say pretty much either nailed it or did the twist that I would consider to be even more wearable than the original Baccarat. With Lost Cherry, after searching high and low, I would say it's pretty much still, if Mochaccino cherry, Mochaccino? Please correct my pronunciation, you know what I'm talking about, those cocktail cherries. If this is what you're going for, this is probably one of the best options out there. That said, I think I have better suggestions for you and me today, so let's kind of start with a review. All right, I avoided testing a Lost Cherry for the longest time because it was way too popular and way too expensive. I'm also not I'm not a big fan of edible perfumes, and when we go into the territory of flavored kind of scents, right? Things that you would find in food flavoring. This is definitely walks the boundary. And ever since Tom Ford actually expanded on that category, you think of Rose Prick, Bitter Peach. Now they have actually a dedicated line that's devoted to cocktails. So Lost Cherry walks this line of it's truly a very believable scent, a flavor of how the jar of cocktail cherry smells like. Yet it's if you imagine combining that with very hot, warm spices similar to what you can find in Serge Lutens Chergui. These kind of kitchen type of spices that are not too cinnamony, not too peppery. It's both sweet, a little bit hot, a little bit warm. Kind of makes you think of maybe mulled wine, Glintwein, and things of that nature. One thing that really, two things, besides one is the price. The second thing that kind of made me pause on this before I actually jumped into confessing my love for Lost Cherry was that I don't like hot spices akin to Serge Lutens Chergui. And to me, Lost Cherry definitely goes into this hookah bar territory / hot kitchen, sweet kitchen spices, but they are not milled finely enough for me. They're very kind of pokey, and I don't like that kind of effect. So when Room 1015 issued their Cherry Punk, which I got a decant from Scentbird. I don't think they still have it, but they used to. And actually Scentbird, along with other decant services, are pretty good at getting like new fragrances available for decanting. I jumped on it because like I like cherries. Like I told you, I designed my own cocktail with a sour cherry, but I couldn't find something that would be not too much tobacco / hookah, spicy kind of flavored tobacco, but something that actually resembled a sour cherry. So Cherry Punk is a close relative to Lost Cherry, but it's a slightly different take. We remove all of those hot, prickly spices similar to Serge Lutens Chergui, and we add Scotch. It says that it has saffron and leather. I would say that together they pretty much give me effect of how like freshly opened bottle of Scotch smells like. Is this kind of like old leather shoe type of flavor that is added to the Maraschino cherry flavor. And for that, to be honest, to me it becomes way more interesting. So if I had to choose between the two, and I have a little bit more, like here I have like 8 ml and I only have 2 ml of Lost Cherry, I don't think I would even enjoy wearing it to the end. While with Cherry Punk by Room 1015, I already used up almost close to 2 mls already, and I'm seriously considering buying it. The price tag here, you pretty much can half the price compared to Tom Ford. The Room 1015 Cherry Punk is roughly, the last time I looked it was 120, but let's round it up. Let's say 130. 130 full size, maybe secondhand. You'll get luckier. I mean, to me, this is still kind of up there for essentially kind of like a hooliganism in perfumery, because again, to me, it's still too close to edible flavoring and not perfumey enough. Yet, Cherry Punk, I enjoyed wearing, and this kind of Scotch leathery accent, kind of the base, to me makes it way more cool, like way more pleasant to wear. So I would say indeed they are close relatives. Cherry Punk, though, has the heart of Scotch, kind of a leather, and the Tom Ford Lost Cherry has this hot kitchen spices similar to Chergui. There is another one that I tried but just was not willing to buy full price. It was also $170, and that was Viktor Rolf, their Magic collection, and they had Dancing Roses. That one probably comes even closer to Lost Cherry than Cherry Punk, but to be honest, at the time it was just too expensive for me. It's not quite my theme, so I ended up not buying it. Oh, try now. You'll be hard-pressed to find Dancing Roses anywhere for any price. It could easily rank up as expensive as Lost Cherry by Tom Ford on like secondhand market. So that's clearly an opportunity lost, especially for those who love that particular theme. Just putting it out there, if you have access to Dancing Roses by Viktor Rolf, pretty much creme de la creme when it comes to these like cocktail sweet gourmandy cherry fragrances. For me, you know, I'm fine. That's just like, it's not like I wouldn't die without it, but in a way, if somebody gifted it to me, I wouldn't say that I would be mad now. I didn't know it would get discontinued, you know, like okay. And the last one I want to talk about was kind of like a surprise for me, because it's really cheap. It's like $30. It's Banana Republic Dark Cherry Amber, which was sent to me a decant by a friend, and I literally included it in consideration purely because of the name, Dark Cherry and Amber. All right. The moment I put it on the blot, I was like, okay, there's nothing even remotely similar to Lost Cherry here. Why are we talking about cherries at all? And then I realized it. Well, here we're talking about these classical super duper sweet dark cherries that are sold in every grocery store, and like the cocktail cherries. Here we're talking about sour cherries. And once I started thinking about sour cherry juice, I don't know if you ever tried it, it started to make more sense. This is the kind of cherries that actually I'm more used to. Like in my childhood, we had sour cherry trees, not the sweet kind. And here the creation of this sour cherry effect is done through a heavy dose of sour white musks, very similar in nature to what Tiziano Terenzi does in his Kirke and like in other creations. He's like the king of sour musks. Think of like musks of that nature. They're very potent, powerful, long-lasting, very vibrant. I hate sour musks. So for me, unfortunately, even though sour cherry is my preference if we're choosing between those preferences, but the way that it's composed through those Tiziano Terenzi style sour musks is just killing me. But I just wanted to bring it up. Name suggests a dark cherry. Mind you, it's a sour cherry. And also, you have to love Tiziano Terenzi in order to enjoy this. Otherwise, not that bad. Not that bad, considering. All right. So these were the 4 that probably kind of came the closest to me in terms of evaluation. And I thought, and I realized that not my trend, just not my thing. If ever I find cherry punk secondhand, or if Scentbird starts stocking them again, I might get a backup of this decant, because oddly enough, I do enjoy it in winter. But when we're talking about sweet, gourmandy, spicy, wintry perfumes, I usually tend to like prunes and kind of a dried not candied, but like kind of jammy fruits more. And the sweet Marcassino cherry is not still like, I still don't get it. But the Scotch, what I love about this one is the Scotch and leather note. It's actually really cool. I dig it. And I dig the name, I dig the style, I dig the packaging, like the bottle design. So Lost Cherry, happy to miss on the trend, but like I told you, I tried to give you some of the kind of options out there. If it was me and I actually decided to get myself a full-size bottle, it would be either Dancing Roses, but even more likely Room 1015 Cherry Punk. What would you choose? Now you tell me. Maybe you know of other clones that are like also worth considering. Please leave a comment. Let me and everyone else know who's looking for something similar. I'll be waiting for your comments. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I tried hard to bring you good content. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next video.